Hi, this is Yonah Bob, senior military analyst for the Jerusalem Post. Yesterday, there was big news in Lebanon. The Israeli Air Force hit Beirut, Dahiyeh, the stronghold of Hezbollah in Lebanon, the capital of Lebanon. What was the reason that the IDF would take such a big risk? If you go backwards a little bit, the IDF had not struck Beirut, any major location of Hezbollah. Here and there, they might hit like one small or low-level Hezbollah terrorist in southern Lebanon, but Beirut is a really risky thing. So why did they do it when they hadn't done it since about a month or so ago? And before that month or so ago, they hadn't done it since November 27th when the ceasefire started. So really very, very rare to strike Beirut. Really high stakes because Hezbollah had smuggled in precision-guided missiles. What's the significance of precision-guided missiles? They're not just regular missiles or rockets, which are a problem. They have much more accuracy. They can usually be used on a longer range. So these are missiles that could not just hit, let's say, Tel Aviv or central Israel, but more reliably hit specific locations in Tel Aviv, central Israel, let's say Israeli military headquarters, let's say Ben Gurion Airport. So very, very high stakes to get rid of these weapons. If there wasn't that kind of a high stakes, then the Air Force would not be striking Beirut right now. Again, Israel is doing a lot of small strikes against small-level Hezbollah terrorists, trying to do small terrorist activities in southern Lebanon. They're trying to keep them out of southern Lebanon. And Israel has 5 outposts in Lebanon, a couple hundred meters in Lebanon, about 500 to 1,000 soldiers manning those outposts to not allow Hezbollah to get anywhere near to invade. But in general, Israel is not touching Beirut. So that was a major, significant event yesterday. It was so significant that the United States signed off on this airstrike beforehand. Israel did not want to take that significant a measure against Hezbollah in its stronghold without the backing of the Trump administration. What is going on in Gaza? So we had a ceasefire from January 19th to March 18th, 19th. I say March 18th, 19th because on March 18th, Israel did a massive 80 airstrikes, very big airstrikes against a number of major Hamas officials, all in a matter of 10 minutes. But the ground invasion that was renewed only started the next day on March 19th. So basically what we've seen is a very slow motion, I would call it, ground invasion of Gaza. Little by little, one division went into Gaza, then a second, then a third. These divisions are not sort of like their full size as they were in 2023. Right? We're talking about in 2023, there might have been 50,000 soldiers in Gaza and another 100,000 or more surrounding Gaza. Much, much smaller numbers right now. We're probably talking about a couple thousand maximum in all of Gaza right now, so a much smaller invasion. And yet Israel has done something different this time. It has conquered about 30–40% of Gazan territory. That means it's holding on to the territory. If you go back to 2023, whenever Israel went into an area, its goal was take apart the Hamas battalions in that area and then leave. It wasn't trying to hold on to territory. So why is Israel trying to hold on to territory now? It's trying to put pressure on Hamas. Look, we could hold on to more and more of Gaza until you have sort of almost nowhere to hide. And that's to pressure Hamas into giving over the hostages, right? It still is holding 59 hostages, about 21 are expected to still be alive. And it's trying to get Hamas to agree to remove at least its top officials from Gaza so that somebody else could take over Gaza. That's the goal of the Israeli government. Unfortunately, it hasn't been terribly successful until now. The success has been partial in the sense that Hamas has been ready to, let's say, do a temporary ceasefire and give Israel back 10 more hostages. But in order to get all of the hostages back, and even for those 10 hostages, Israel would need to agree to completely end the war. Israel internally is split on that. About half of the country wants to end the war if it means bringing back the hostages, that's worth it. And about half the country would say, including the government and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, would say it's not worth it. We need to get rid of Hamas. If we don't get rid of Hamas, more hostages and more Israelis will die at Hamas's hands in the future. Who's going to win that debate? Right now it's Netanyahu, but it's getting tougher and tougher to keep that balance.